Okay, I guess we're live now. My computer is being a complete idiot today. Anyway, guys, how we doing tonight? Obviously, talk Steelers tonight. We're going to jump right into this because it's already been a debacle. Let's see if we can save it. We're going to bring in the guys tonight. We have a great panel tonight. We're going to talk some football, some Pittsburgh Steeler football. We're going to bring in everyone at once because we're all together. Hopefully, this computer wakes up.
Did you give it any coffee, Adam?
This is like fucking amateur hour.
Hey, that's all right, man.
There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do that the chicken stream's off, guys.
Now you see why I call it chicken stream now, don't you?
I see that. Like this like this was a debacle and a half, and I don't even see you guys on my screen.
We're all
here.
here.
You guys there?
We're here.
We're here.
We got your back, Adam. No worries, man.
We see you.
Oh, there's one. FTA is on my screen finally. There's Nick.
Yeah, here we go.
Guys, I usually have a video running to bring everyone in. JT is not showing up yet. There he is on my screen.
Oh,
I don't know when you showed up on your screen. Guys, I usually have a video that comes up, says my show name, goes through like of guys that have been on the show. You know, we put together a real video. I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but I didn't.
Yeah, it showed up.
Yeah,
we saw it.
Nothing.
We believe you. We believe you.
Oh, it did? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Came up.
On my end, you know how right side it just said show. It never said hide. I mean, and I was like, is it playing? I have no idea. So anyway, guys.
Again, at the mercy of streaming.
I guess we just talked about the Hood stopping a shooting incident that one of you guys brought up, and then I happened to glance into it. Who brought that up? Which one?
This guy right
Freight
here.
Train. Freight Train did.
That right there. All right. So, because I didn't even get to know if you guys run the screen or not, why don't you guys go through and introduce yourselves? We'll start with Freight Train first, then we'll go JT, and then we'll go Nick, and then we'll go FTA. I am at Sports Talking It, and obviously some people saw the video and some people did. I did not. Anyway, go ahead, Freight Train. Tell us who you are, Robert.
All right. I am Freight Train from Steelers Realm podcast. If you don't know it, you should. So look us up. I like to consider myself the conductor of the Steelers Realm. Others may differ on that.
Holy shit. That shit's getting deep in here already.
I think he's the guy that throws the
He
coal
said it was
in
already a
the fire,
shit show,
right?
so I just ran with it.
All right. Sorry.
It's fine.
Adam.
You know, the more laughter, the better. That's my philosophy. You're good, man. You can run the show. Go ahead. I'll just sit back. I got all my jerseys around me. This is the only show that I'm allowed to have all jerseys. And just to let you guys know, we have a bet going on at Driving to the Top Productions. I have Evan who does Cleveland and Matt who does Baltimore. The winner of the division can wear their own jersey, but the people that follow below the division have to wear the winner's division shirts for 3 or 4 podcasts in a row.
Oh my!
So that's a little bet we have going on at Driving to the Top. So if the Steelers win, they both have to wear Steelers shirts for Cleveland Brown and Baltimore podcasting. So it should be fun. And that's the way I'm hoping it happens because I definitely don't want to wear purple.
Yeah, you got some skin in the game.
And if they make me wear purple, I'm making sure I buy the black jersey. It's
That's like their color.
I'd rather wear the black jersey than the purple jersey.
That way the purple kind of fades off.
I don't want to wear.
But anyway, go ahead, Doctor. Run the show. Let's go.
All right, guys, I'm JT from Steelers Realm Podcast too, along with famous TA. That's with FTA and Freight Train. We've been doing this 5 seasons, and just recently we won an award for Indiana County. That's in Western Pennsylvania. For those Yinzers who don't know, where Indiana County is. But yeah, we got a Best Podcast Award for that. So we thank you all there. And we always got something new coming down the pike, too. So tune into us. We're actually streaming live on our channels as well, too. So thanks for Sports Talking Ed for letting us do that. But we appreciate you being on. Steelers Nation, looking to talk some football tonight. This great team.
Started your show off with a shit show. So JT, your guest will also know that I normally don't do this. I don't know what's going on with the StreamYard. It messed up on Matt the other night too, and so we're having issues with it. But anyway, I just wanted to clear that up because that whole show got shut down the other night at like 12 minutes. Everything froze.
Oh man, that's no good.
So I just wanted to let everyone know that this is not my technical difficulty.
You paid the bill,
man,
right?
We'll power
But I'll
through.
take blame because I'm in charge. Actually, wait for Freight Train because he's the conductor.
Right. All right, TA, introduce
Go
yourself.
ahead, Nick.
Or Nick.
I'm Nick. I'm on my X handle now, other than used to be Twitter, at Penn Flanders. We are on at Fantasy Sports Core. We are on your Instagram, YouTube, StreamYard, and we are also have our own network where we have 6 shows, and we just focus on primarily on fantasy sports.
All right, so who's your team this year? You got them picked
FTA.
already, Nick? FTA. That is for the famous TA. And I'm the comic relief for the show. I'm the one that keeps everybody straight. I gotta keep these guys on the right track, or they fall off the rails quickly.
All right.
Oh, absolutely. There's never a dull moment. We love busting
Like
chops.
Clay, or what kind of comedian we got going on here?
Oh, it just all depends on the scenario, buddy.
So Andrew Dice Clay is right up your alley, buddy. Oh,
Oh, hickory dickory dock.
All depends on what kind of beverage he's.
oh
drinking.
man.
Ain't
One thing about
particular.
TA, though, you don't want him to pronunciate any names because he will find a way to totally screw it up. So if it comes to saying anybody's name, don't let TA do it.
Yeah, if you're a Samoan, forget it.
Yeah.
He'll turn any name into a Yinzer name. That's cool. So, hey, man, we had a chance, Adam. We
why we're
were down
pissed.
to Friday Night Lights there the other night. Took the family down. Took my son, my 2 sons and grandson. And we had a blast down there, man. This year, Friday Night Lights at Latrobe Memorial Stadium. That's the high school stadium. There were over 13,600 and plus in attendance that night. And our main man, Bill Hillgrove, on the PA system there. Hardest working man in sports. So what a great night, man. We got to see these guys up close and see the battles that were going on in camp and some highlights too. So we were excited to get on with you tonight, even earlier than we go on every Thursday night. But yeah, man, we appreciate you having us on, and well, let's talk some Steelers football and where we're looking so far. How about it?
So what did you see up at camp? What caught your?
Well, I think one of the most interesting things, if we could, I guess, kick it off with that, is that
Or what was your main focus when you went there? What battle were you on?
I wanted to see the offensive line and see what was going on with that, as well as the receivers on like mainly Pickens versus JPJ or some of that. So hey, there's Jeremiah back jumping on. He's one of our YouTube followers. What's up, buddy? But yeah, just kind of wanted to see how the team was starting to gel together and what players
Just
may
let you
stick
know,
out.
I don't see it on my screen yet. But, is it on the main screen yet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't like. It doesn't like this. StreamYard is really goofy tonight, guys. I'm not. What the fuck?
Good old Italian name,
Now
Jeremiah.
I'm
Yoder.
fading away. Holy cow! What the hell?
That's a Yinzer name there, huh?
Or Amish, one of the
Jeremiah Yoda.
You think?
Good evening, Jeremy. How are you? So he's a follower of you guys, obviously, because he's got the little star or the little
We'll go
like
with Italian though,
paperclip
JT.
thing.
Yeah, not just
JT, I have to ask though, with the record amount of people at Latrobe this year, did you have to have anybody sitting on your lap?
no, we didn't quit that funny. There goes Adam. He's gonna jump back in. That might be the best thing for him. He seemed like he was struggling there, but yeah, no, man, it really wasn't too bad. There was a lot of activities before. That park we posted up in and spent 3 hours going to last night or last year rather. We never got out of the truck, but that whole those fields and the park beside it was just full of things to do for the kids. My son and grandson actually kind of picked up a little two-hand tag football team with some of the other kids there, and had a blast kind of pre-gaming that. I will say after we did have a little bit of a scare. We had a downpour there, and it only lasted about 5 minutes.
Did you get PTSD?
Yeah, it was
Holy
like,
fudge.
not again. But yeah, but we made it in
I
there.
feel
The
like getting
line
my
was
money back this month. Holy fudge. Sorry, guys. I have no idea. I was sitting here and then it just went, oops, internet connection down. And I was like, but you guys are veterans. You know what you're doing. Just keep talking because it ain't going to log
We
off
just
until
power
the end
through.
broadcast.
You actually seem better
Holy
now than you
cow.
have the whole time we've been on.
yeah, at least it's flowing good.
Oh, so I'm back. All right. Well, that's a good
Yeah.
thing. See, maybe bad shit
Yeah.
happens to good people and then good shit happens in the end.
I like the way you put that. That's good.
Oh, my God.
So yeah, no, it was a nice time down there. We weren't too much on top of each other, but the fences were lined the whole way around the stadium, and it was a nice evening. If you ever have a chance to go down there, please do stop in. It's worth a trip. It's worth a trip. Even if you sit there for 3 hours in the pouring rain together, at least we're there and we were having fun, which was last year's experience. But yeah, man, some
Do they
interesting takes
Go ahead.
on that.
Do they come in like Green Bay or anything on bicycles or?
No, dude, where they come in on school buses led by the police cars and sirens. And they just right out of the buses, right on up into the field and line up. So it's pretty cool. 7 buses in total to bring the Steelers team to the high school football field.
Mr. Tomlin, was he there or was he already in Canton right by those guys?
Yeah, I guess he was not. There was another, what was it? There was another enshrinement he was going to somewhere.
I think he was talking for wasn't he talking for Rondé Barber? Wasn't he being his representative?
Yes, that's right. From his Tampa Bay days.
Like that's a great thing to be talking about. Rondé Barber was a hell of a defensive back.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. So anyhow, let's talk some Steelers, man. Where you want to start, Adam?
Well, you were there. Did Kendrick line up in the backfield, or what was that Saturdays? Should we send one to Larry? I don't have his email.
Oh, Larry.
Is he good to bring on or
My
what?
man. My man Larry. Yeah, he's our number one follower.
Should I bring him on?
He wants to come on the podcast.
I see that. That's what I'm asking.
Thursday, Larry, we'll get you on Thursday.
All right, Larry, you got to wait Thursday, buddy. So anyway, go ahead. Back to
so that
Green
development
was,
with Green playing fullback. What's up with that? Do we have a new fullback there? I think he actually caught a pass out of the backfield there too.
He ran a couple dudes over too.
Yeah, he trucked some dude, man. He trucked him big time.
I like the idea. I like the idea just for the simple fact of Kendrick Green always plays with energy. He might not be the most effective lining up on the line against somebody mano on mono, but you give that man a full head of steam running forward, he's going to take some blockers out. And I've seen him do it in the past before when he was starting for us. You saw it a couple times where he got outside and ran some dudes over on some big running plays. I say, why not? Because I don't think he has what it takes to make the team as an offensive lineman, but he might have what it takes to be a fullback or a fill-in back.
But do you roster the guy just for that and a potential backup at center? I guess I don't know, Nick. Did they list him as second in line at center with the backup center? I'm not sure. They just released the new roster and depth.
Actually,
Let's
he's not
see
even
right
listed
here.
here, too.
The backup center is McCollum.
Really? That's interesting. He was listed as a
And
backup center going in.
They don't have a fullback listed here. No, they don't have a fullback.
Interesting.
So it could intertwine what they're planning on doing.
Are you
with
looking
tight
at
end if they're
ESPN,
keeping
Nick, or
Connor.
do you have a different depth chart?
Yeah, I'm looking at the Steelers one. They just
I'm looking at
released.
ESPN.
Yeah, Mason Cole, and then they had Kendrick Green, and then McCollum listed third, followed by fourth stringer Spencer Anderson. So, yeah, I guess
Oh,
I mean if he
Green.
was,
Okay,
he was
yeah.
to rely. I'm sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
No, Green on ESPN is your third string left guard. So it sounds like either way, he's going to be on the roster. They just don't know where to put him yet.
No, our Lords has Kendrick Green as the backup center.
Well, see, I guess the question is,
And that
you know,
was
we're talking
August 3rd, though, last updated.
offensive line. Who do you guys think's on the bubble? Do we have any bubble potential so far on the line?
It's just going to be really fun the week of the regular season when we go from 93 to 53.
Yeah, that certainly will be interesting.
It's going to be interesting throughout the whole league. It's like they finally did this so people couldn't sign those people like Darren Waller. Gruden saw him and he wasn't playing for the Ravens. And then the Ravens tried to stash him and they just followed it after watching him, and that's how they grabbed him. So I think there's going to be a lot of players stashed or tried to be stashed unless, people really pay attention. Because whatever day that is, the week of the opening season, because then you have to realize also, guys, once they make these cuts, we still might have to see a game or two before any of these guys are fully ready because they haven't played a game yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the longer cutting period, I think this is gonna mess up football a little bit, actually, until we adjust to it, which might take two years. Unless coaches just say, you know what, we're sticking to what we did and get rid of these guys. Like, hey, you're not going to make the team. We'll pay you all the practice fee up until then, but we want to see what we got, but you're not going to make the team regardless. You think that might be a smarter move for them to do?
Don't everybody speak all at once now? I mean,
Yeah, TA.
I'm glad to see. I'm glad to see I'm glad to see everybody's got an opinion on this. I mean, Adam, I think you're absolutely right. This is going to be interesting. I mean, you've got to turn around and cut 37 people in one day. One day. I mean, you've only got 3 games to evaluate them, unless, of course, you're the Browns or the Jets who get the 4th game because of the Hall of Fame game. But at the end of the day, you're going full roster till right there before Monday's cut down. So it's going to be interesting. And then, of course, then you still have to go ahead and clear waivers to make it to the practice squad. And at that time, anything can happen on these 37 players. So there's really no hiding anybody because they have to all clear waivers before they get put on the practice squad.
Right. Right, and that's not to mention all the other players from all the other 31 other teams that are out there on waivers. I mean, who knows? That's like a frantic time period. Let's get this guy off, and this guy get picked up. Well, let's pick up this guy, and gosh, imagine. And they say Khan's job isn't done, or is done rather.
No, it's still highly active.
Who was done?
Khan, the Khan man.
The con man. Like he
Omar.
did his job. He got the roster. He got the 90 whatever guys on there. And so now it's up to them to see who makes the team.
And there's some players already trying to make a good name for themselves. I mean, my boy Cody White, man, is having another stellar training camp. I mean, how long are the Steelers going to be able to hold him or hide him on that practice squad before he's off to a team that really needs a wide receiver?
Yeah,
'Cause
that's true.
This is Cody's fourth year. I mean, he's shown that he could probably play in this league as a backup and or maybe even a potential number, a W3 or a WR3.
Uh-huh.
Well, and you know who else is getting a lot of attention too is Boykin. Saw a lot of action Friday night.
Am I on screen now?
Yeah, you're on now. Yeah, you're on. now.
You've been on screen, Adam. I don't know what you got going on over there, Adam, but you just keep talking, buddy. You just follow along, and we'll keep your show running for you. All right.
I don't know what's going on. Like
in here.
on my screen, it just has the online thing going doo, and I'm like looking, and I'm like, am I gonna have to put a hotspot on my phone to stay online for my computer? I'm like, what
You're
the hell?
good.
What's going on here?
All right, Adam. I do.
And I'm
gotta
not trying.
ask,
Like
though.
this is this. Well, I'm glad I have experience here. Like we talked about backstage. You know, I have experience that knows how to do this StreamYard thing. Obviously, you guys have control of it because of the because you guys signed in and put your show there. I don't know how much control you guys have, but I'm glad you guys know what the hell that you're doing. Because right now, I look like a complete idiot.
Nah, you're good, man. You're good.
Well, Adam, I do got to ask.
Like,
I'm taking it. Brogdon Evan is one of your guys.
yeah,
Steelers
Evan,
are done.
Yeah, he's the Cleveland guy.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, he's a Cleveland guy. And we're the
gosh.
trash team.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time I checked, I mean, we didn't make headline news of destroying a 737 coming out of North Carolina for United there, Brogdon. I mean, you want to talk about a cover-up going on right now. I can't wait till they release the photos of your bunch of overgrown, whining teammates who can't even conduct themselves as a professional on an airplane, Brogdon. And we're the trash team? My God, I tell you what, the one thing that I've learned from living in Ohio all these years, it's the
Oh, here it
water. It's got to be the water up there by the lake. They're not doing a good enough job to put calcium or fluoride in it. And these toothless SOBs up there are just drinking the Kool-Aid all the time, Adam. Drinking the Kool-Aid.
And this
I mean,
fighting
Nick,
works.
do you have this kind of problem down in Orlando? Hey, Nick, are you going to participate with us today, buddy, over here? Hey, Nick, we're right here, buddy. Hello. Hey, Nick.
I'm here.
Welcome to the show, buddy.
Well, everyone's chopping in and out. I can't hear. I hear half the conversation, so I have no idea what the hell's going on. So I'm just sitting back and waiting.
Are you sure you're not sitting beside Adam right now?
I may be. I may be sitting right beside Adam.
All right.
Nick,
So I was
you're
just-
choppy
I was
too.
No, I'm not choppy, but I hear all
Look,
yous
Evan
are
always
choppy
cuts
for
up
me.
on our fucking chicken yard. Anyway, Evan loves Evan. Me and Evan's a great guy, you know, guys. Evan's awesome. I love this guy. Always fun. He's always playing around and fucking around with us. He really does not like Pittsburgh at all. But anyway, we get along, so that's all that matters. Evan always makes fun of our quarterback's hands, like small hands, Pickens and shit.
Oh, yeah.
So,
That's
So
all right.
that's
Hey,
why
Evan,
he posted that comment. There.
All I can say, Evan, is at least there's no reports of him dropping the soap or getting free rubbing tugs. So you might want to watch on the hand side
Typical
because we're still not sure what your quarterback's doing yet in the background. He might not even make it the season.
Oh
I
man,
told
you
you I
gotta
was
Evan,
love
you're
a
more than
good
welcome to
round.
join us if you feel like walking into the dungeon.
Hate them, love
Nothing like
you,
a
though.
good Browns and Steelers bashing going back and forth. Love it. Love it. Because I guess
right,
for the
so-
longest time there was no
You
competition.
know that's the fun. That's the funnest part of the week.
That is the funnest part of the week. Browns Steelers week. It's glad to see it finally getting back. I mean, all that hard work that the Rooneys did, Evans, to keep the
I'm
Browns
finally getting
name.
back to hatred.
Yep. And don't worry, when you win the first Super Bowl, it's going to have a little asterisk on it by product of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Thank Art. So Nick, can you hear us? Hey Nick. Anybody know sign language? Nick. Hey Nick. Tell us your fantasy football team.
TA, he doesn't want to give out the secrets.
He doesn't want to give out the secret sauce.
Yeah, he's pleading
No
the fifth.
secret sauce.
He's pleading the fifth.
Oh man, oh man.
Oh
right.
shoot.
So Adam, so being that you've been a Steeler fan now for about 30 some years that you can remember, I mean, what drew you to being a Steelers fan? Tell us about it.
Being
Okay.
a Steelers fan?
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah, what drew you to be a Steelers fan? Was there a certain play, a certain moment, a certain memory? Something that said, I bleed black and gold? Or were you one of the fortunate toddlers to get the terrible towel coming from the hospital?
I had one of them. I was born a week before the Super Bowl in '79.
Okay,
Nice.
got it.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
And my grandfather was always mad at me because he was going to Miami and then I was born. Canceled this whole trip.
Oh man.
So you're not Grandpa's favorite grandchild kid.
And I said, why didn't you go? I'd be here whenever you got back, you know? But my mom was pretty sick with me and stuff, and I was born a month early, so I think
TA, did you see what
that had something
did
to
you
do
see
with
what
it, too.
Brogdon put on down there? That the Browns are
48
going
to
to be
37.
Yeah,
Look,
clearly he
I
doesn't know our team that he thinks Matt Canada can conduct an offense that puts up 37 points. I mean,
Yeah, apparently
Does
he's
he
not
know?
paying attention either.
I mean,
Actually, I
Holy
thought it was
cow.
48 freight train. I thought that he knew something we didn't know. Hey, I was letting Evan run with it.
Wait, are we putting up 48 or is the Browns putting up 48?
the Browns are putting up 48. We're putting up 37. I haven't seen Matt Canada conduct an offense that put up 37 points since Maryland.
And that was when the other team.
Any chance
right?
he pulls, any chance he releases the strings and says, let's do this. We have enough weapons. Let's do this. Any chance.
Yeah.
Any chance he
Well,
releases the hounds.
That's a good topic, and
He
that's
better.
what he's under scrutiny for this year. I'm sure. I think this is his prove it or lose it year, to be honest with you. And he's out of excuses, Adam. Let's face it, man. He's out of excuses for this year. He doesn't have Mitch starting a new quarterback. He's had half season now with Kenny Pickett and the off season and everything else to put it together. The con master, the con man himself, put together surrounding a supporting cast for him, including the first round draft choice over there at left tackle. And, you know, it's up to them now. Hopefully he can put into play some of these things that he made excuses that he couldn't do before. Just a thought. But yeah, put up or shut up this year.
Yeah.
I think if he
Feel that Tomlin kept him on. Do any of you feel that Tomlin kept him on board because Tomlin brought him in, and like could be actually be Tomlin's fault?
Oh no, absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, the Rooneys do not fire coaches like the Browns do to sit on the couch getting paid millions of dollars. I mean, you got to understand the organization. They want an honest day's pay for an honest buck, and that's what they're expecting. Now, if he's not going to deliver, oh, you can guarantee he will not be in the black and gold next year. He might not even be in high school football. We might be looking for him on the Pop Warner League circuit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, but here's also the thing here. Do we wonder if maybe even Mike Tomlin is starting to feel a little bit of heat in his kitchen because he's due for another contract extension? They were supposed to be talking about it in this offseason, and they kind of just tabled the talks. Is this one of those where the Rooneys are kind of playing it year by year here and letting his contract expire and doing something unconventional by moving on? I mean, you got to think about it. What honest success besides the winning seasons has Mike Tomlin had?
Evan, are you listening to this? I go through this every week with you. Now you can hear from someone else. Go ahead, Freight Train. I've been waiting for someone else to say this besides me.
I mean, let's look at it. Early exits in the playoffs. We have not had a deep run in the playoffs since we won the Super Bowl.
2018.
We lost the Super Bowl with Mike Tomlin, but are they keeping him on just to keep the consecutive winning seasons? That doesn't mean jack diddly in my book. If you're not winning playoff games and Super Bowls, what is a winning season? What's a winning? That's not a winning season. So
in Cleveland, Tomlin would be a great coach, though.
I think he should have a little bit of heat in his kitchen by saying, you know what? I'm wasting my own opportunities by keeping chumps like this running my offense. I need to get somebody back in here that has been there and done that. Could have had Frank Wright when he was let go from Indianapolis. That would have been an easy fill-in. Frank Wright has been there, done that. I don't understand why you would bring back Matt Canada when he clearly doesn't know how to conduct an offense, and it's always predictable. You can't always be predictable in professional football. That's why these men are professionals. They can figure it out week by week. They know how to study film. This isn't college anymore.
Yeah, but look, let's go back here. I mean, Ken Wisenhunt, we
Todd
rode
Haley
him
was
out
pretty
of town.
predictable
Offense,
too, though.
Right, predictable. Todd Haley, predictable. Arians, predictable. I mean, we get to the point as a Steelers fan, like after 3 to 4 years, it's predictable. And that's because we sit and watch this team week in and week out, and we scrutinize them. So I'm not quite sure if I'm buying that comment. I'm sticking with the one, this is his year to make or break it. This is damn sure the pressure is on Kenny Pickett at this present time and moment. And quite frankly, there is no reason, Brandon or Brogdon, if you didn't listen earlier, I'll butcher your name up like there ain't no tomorrow by the time the show's over with. But at the end of the day, you know, he's stringing together wins. And let's face it, even though he's had a winning season, he's been hit with the injury bug. He's been hit with players going down, walking off the field, drama, and somehow has still managed to put together a winning organization, and he's cut out all the cancer. We haven't talked about any cancer. Matter of fact, I think that's why they got rid of Chase Claypool, because they weren't going down that road anymore. They're not going to go down that road anymore. As he says, I want volunteers, not hostages.
But here's the thing, GT or TA. Are you always going to be content with being mediocre and finishing 9-8?
Oh, hell no. I want to get back to the playoffs. I'm starting to feel like a Browns fan.
Why not put a little bit of heat in his kitchen and then the Rooneys say, listen, you haven't had very much recent success. Go out and prove yourself, and we'll give you that next contract. We want you here, Mike, but we also have a city that's starving for a deep playoff run. A deep playoff push or a Super Bowl. It's been too long by Pittsburgh standards. Way too long.
I think you're putting too much into this because after Cowher left, the year of signing the days of signing that court or that coach 2 years prior to his contract extension went out the window. I think Tomlin was only a benefactor of that when he first got hired on. Other than that, it's always been in his final year, and we still see it from the media. Oh my God, he didn't get the contract extension. He's got 2 years left. That's normally when the Steelers do it. Really? It wasn't until he was first hired on. So, I think there's a lot of moving pieces here, and I think we're just reaching at straws, kind of like the Browns.
Nick looks
Hey,
like he wants to say something.
I want to throw a caveat there first, Nick. Evan said that we lost to Baker Mayfield. Well, that's okay, but you guys lost to Duck Hodges.
Ooh, burn.
Oh yeah, 2019. Anyhow,
So,
I don't
Nick,
know.
can you hear us
I
now,
don't.
Nick?
Maybe has this ever dawned on anyone why everyone loves Mike Tomlin outside of like Pittsburgh right now? Because they know he can't win, and everyone's chasing us. So if we have a coach that can't win, why wouldn't other teams love this guy? We have not gone deep in the playoffs.
See, I'm not.
2019 was our last good chance. And other than that, we won nothing with Bell, Brown, Ben. Those are years we should have went deeper than what we did.
The three.
Those
Bs.
are years we should have won. We had a team out there that was dominant. And it just
Yeah, but we also
fell
had
apart.
individuals. We had individuals. That's what we had. We had individuals in the 2 Bs, and you had the 3rd B tired of trying to be a preschool teacher. I mean, look, Tom Brady couldn't even control Antonio Brown. He's the greatest of all times.
I think that Burkett hit killed Antonio Brown, but that's just me.
no, that's just us too. We are all on that train, right, Michael?
So
Yes.
Nick, what were you going to say about Tomlin?
Well, see, I mean, I like Mike Tomlin, and again, of course, now me being outside the Pittsburgh bubble, I don't hear what you guys hear here on the inside. But I look at the record, and I look at the production, and then I think, who better are you going to get to replace him? That's the thing. If you're going to unseat somebody, you better have someone better to replace him. Otherwise, you're going to get the same or worse than what you had, and then you're going to be complaining about that. So who better would you like to replace him with?
Well, here's the thing about that, Nick. When it does come time to replace Tomlin, none of us will ever have heard that cat's name because the Rooneys do a very good job of scouring the league for that young, innovative coach. You've seen it in Chuck Noll. You've seen it in Bill Cowher. You've seen it in Mike Tomlin, which is why our coaches last forever, because they have formulated a process. So we could sit here and throw out a whole bunch of names. None of them's really going to matter unless we've really done our homework on 31 teams and who the young and brightest assistant coaches are on those teams.
Right. Yeah,
Well, plus that the Rooneys are a rare commodity in the fact that they are patient, and they don't want they'll win. They'll take their time to win, but they don't want to win yesterday, like some owners that are just changing coaches and quarterbacks and players the minute it doesn't work. So that's there too for the Rooneys. And if you listen to our show, going back to Kenny Pickett, I think he was a complete overreach. I think the whole reason why they got him is because the Rooneys mismanaged the succession of Ben. They thought they can just go out and get anybody that's cheap and available, run the offense. They waited on Mitch Trubisky. They got him, and then he was a complete disaster. So they had to go out and get the next best quarterback in the draft. That was an overreach. And if he was in a better draft class, Pickett would have been a day 2 or day 3 pick. So I think the Rooneys and the GM have got a lot to do with this failure as well.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Nick, so now I got to ask you a question. When
Sure.
you look at how they handled Roethlisberger, it's no different than they've handled all of their aging stars, which is what makes Pittsburgh so unique. I mean, look, we all remember when Polamalu got told, look, you just ain't got it anymore, kid.
Yeah.
He was pissed
Good
off,
point.
left. James Harrison, we did the same thing to him, and he had to go on to New England. But at the end of the day, I think the Rooneys really value that family core. And as far as a quarterback goes, whether he would have went early or not, just this last week on NFL Network, those two bozos on Good Morning Football were praising him like he was the second coming of Patrick Mahomes now all of a sudden. These were the same guys that must have been hanging out with Evan talking about his hands being too small. So, and again, nobody knows what a quarterback's going to develop into until years in the system. And saying Kenny or Mitch Trubisky was a total bust, he wasn't a total bust. He just didn't have very long to perform because we did get Kenny Pickett.
Mm-hmm.
And we knew if we were going to continue losing while he was learning this Matt Canada sorry-ass offense, the fans would start shouting. And what did they do? All the chants for Kenny, Kenny, Kenny. Really?
You got to remember, though, he's a Pitt kid.
Yeah.
Well,
and
that's
then,
part of it.
I mean-
There is some Dan Marino overtones to this too. I think, looking back to it, the local kid, there's an underlying story there too. I think they fell in love with him. They got to know him really well, sharing the same stadium and stuff like that. But to your point, TA, you can't tell. I mean, it could be a diamond in the rough. Just look at some like Jamarcus Russell, for example, Johnny Manziel. Speaking of Browns, Vince, like some of these.
Leaf.
Ryan
What
Leaf,
about Ryan?
yeah,
Ryan Leaf.
Eric,
yeah. I mean, you just
Eric
Brady
Crouch.
Quinn. There's another one. That name sound familiar?
Hey, look, we don't have
talk
enough
about
time to
a
name
diamond
all
in the
the
rough
Browns
right now.
quarterbacks.
Geno Smith looks like a diamond in the rough. And it took him years to get this starting role.
Mm-hmm.
Eight
years.
years and 4 different teams.
Right? A lot of teams,
Yeah,
a lot of
8
people
years
thought he was just fell off the face of the earth. And all of a sudden, like, who's the quarterback for Seattle? Geno Smith. I didn't even know he was still around.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he runs into Pete Carroll and he like revives him, like does like a massive PR on the guy, and now he's the starting quarterback in Seattle. For how long? Who knows?
Yeah, so well, I think this is a year, Nick, that we're going to see. Is he going to take that step? One thing you can say about Kenny Pickett, whether they reached for him or not, I mean, he's the guy now. He's the anointed starter, and the kid has a lot of fight and a lot of grit to him, and so hopefully that translates to. And he did a lot of work in the offseason too. So hopefully that translates to a good season. Things start to come together this year for them. He's got the supporting cast around them. He's got the wide receivers now with Pickens, Deontay, and company, plus some veterans. in there.
I was going to lead down that path.
Yeah. Plus bolstered that offensive line.
I was going to lead down that path. Does anyone? Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
No, I was heading there too. Go ahead and lead us where you were going there, because and I definitely want to chime in on that too as well.
Deontay Johnson's been doing a hell of a lot of work. If he doesn't drop all those balls last year, Pickett's numbers look so much better.
He might have scored a touchdown.
So much better.
Oh, at the same time, I was slightly before you.
Oh, I was getting there. I was getting there. Come on, he got a 2-point conversion for 18 mil. Come on, man. But I mean, does anyone think that he could possibly have a 1,500-yard year this year?
Not with
And
George
possibly
Pickens
10
on the team.
touchdowns if he catches the damn ball.
Not with George Pickens on this team. I can tell you that right now. I mean, George Pickens has blatantly put it out there that he is worthy of more targets. You know, there's not all Kenny has to do is put it within the vicinity of George Pickens, and he's coming down with it. Now, whether or not Matt Canada can design an offense to get George Pickens more involved and get him into more manageable catches, and they don't have to be these big circus catches that we saw last year and have already seen in training camp, is one thing. I've been preaching on the show. I think Deontay Johnson is better in the slot. I think that's where the majority of his numbers come from. I don't think the majority of his numbers come from the outside. I think they come from running sideline to sideline because he can utilize his speed a whole hell of a lot better and his shiftiness. That's where I think Deontay needs to play and to put the big boys on the outside like we've always have before.
So you putting Calvin Austin out there or Allen Robinson?
I'd put Allen.
I put Allen Robinson on the bench where he belongs.
Or Hakeem Butler. See what Hakeem Butler can bring. You know, he's trying to prove himself out of
Hakeem Butler is
the XFL.
he looks like he'd be one of the first cuts right now. He's got speed, but he's not having a very good camp so far. Now maybe JT can fill us in because you might have got to see him on Friday night, but from what I've read, it doesn't seem like Hakeem Butler is having a great camp at all.
Didn't really stick out, but I tell you who did is another name that these guys aren't going to fall for, and some don't like him at all. But Gunner got a lot of work, and he showed some zip, some good hands, and some moves.
I like Gunner.
Back. Yeah, he was impressive. Him and
I
Boykin.
think Freiermuth needs to be more in the offense. Personally, I think they need to put him more as a Heath Miller role.
Well, they need to involve the tight ends more in general.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
That's probably one of the more
Are they going to run with 4
in football?
That's such a dying position.
Don't tell
Well, you got Connor.
4 tight ends starting this season.
You got Connor Hayward too. That's been showing a lot of life, having a good
I was going to get into that conversation in a minute.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I keep
but
jumping
you
ahead.
guys think they're going to run with 4 tight ends on this team?
That's a good question.
No, they're going to run with 3, and they're going to go.
Is there room
as a fullback
in the offense to have 4?
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're going to run 3 tight ends, and they're going to go ahead and hide Connor as a fullback
And
He's
special
gonna be the
teams
secret
player.
weapon and a special teams player.
I heard
Exactly
they were
right.
running Connor as possibly the third down back in the tailback situation.
He's a Mike Tomlin Swiss Army knife. Let's just
Yeah, he really is. I mean, you could throw him in there as like a H-back position too. Yeah, I think they
I
have
believe
a
I
lot
did
of-
read an article where they were going to put him in there as the pseudo fullback.
That would make sense. I mean, last year,
I
every time he
didn't
was
see that
involved,
one.
every time he was involved in a play last year at the end of the season, they made big plays.
Mhm.
Could they use him as
Nick,
the?
where did you see
now,
they were
bringing back a
lining him
name
up
here,
as
the Fuamatu role.
Dan
Chris
Kreider.
Falamatu?
Dan Kreider, Christian Fuamatu Ma'afala. I do not know. I do not remember where I read the article. I think it was Yardbarker. It might have been. I could be mistaken on that, but I did see it.
Because I saw they were lining him up as the third down back as the tailback.
Okay. Then
So,
wait a minute. Here it is. Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated.
Okay.
Let's see here. No, yeah, they said offensive lineman Kendrick Green made his fullback debut, and yeah, it might have been Kendrick Green. Then I was mistaken on that, according to Sports Illustrated.
And then if you scroll down in that article, I believe that's where it says they were lining Connor Hayward up as the third down back.
Yeah, Hayward did run the ball in college at Michigan State. It has been used mostly as a tight end in Pittsburgh through 9 days of training camp practice. He's run the ball in 2 practices. So they're going to put him somewhere. He's going to make the roster. They just don't know exactly where they're going to put him yet.
What What do you guys?
And then what
thoughts
did
on
you
that?
think about Quan Alexander making the team?
Well,
They
they
got no
have to
choice
with
but to put him
Corey
on the
Trice
team.
going down.
All right.
Well, and it's not so much even.
I'm sorry,
Even though
TA,
that
what'd you
was
say?
Yeah, I mean, Corey Trice going down has nothing to do with it. We do not have a true middle linebacker for today's NFL. We have a throwback. We have a throwback middle linebacker. We have one that's halfway decent in coverage, and we've got another aging vet that's halfway decent in coverage. Today's NFL, you need those safety linebackers in the box to be able to cover the wide receiver coming out of the backfield, to be able to make the run at the line of scrimmage. And the NFL or the college is just not punching them out at this
So
time.
would you guys
But
agree?
Agree with what?
that you froze up, Nick? We all agree. There you are. You're back, Nick. Go
So
ahead.
would
And he's spinning.
He's gone again.
Yes, Nick, I would agree with
Yeah.
you that our linebacker position is full of one-trick ponies. Yes, absolutely.
Dude, Corey Trice was like my sleeper pick coming out of camp, and then he gets hurt the third day.
Oh, he's back.
Okay, Nick, what do we agree with?
Back on
that they never replaced Shazier. I mean, he was injured 10 years ago and never played again, but they never replaced him.
They
Yes,
tried.
I mean, they have tried. They have tried, but
Evan Bush.
nothing came real to fruition. Devin Bush, and then they let him go.
Bud Dupree.
Bud Dupree, Miles Jack.
Yeah. Bud was on.
I
I don't
know-
understand. Miles Jack was leading the team in tackles through 12 games, and they released him.
We've all been calling for them to bring Miles Jack back, no doubt.
Well, now he just
I
signed
didn't
with Philly.
understand that.
Who'd he sign with, Nick?
Philly.
Philly
Eagles.
Did he?
today.
Wow,
Yep.
that's a bummer.
I like Miles Jack.
Yeah, it was a good, solid replacement in that spot. What do you say? Led the team in tackles.
Through
Linebacker.
week 12, right?
Until he was injured, yes. And I think he was still one of the top 3 after even the whole season. I think it won't. I know what Fitzpatrick was 3rd on the team in tackles, 106.
Yeah, as opposed to the year
you
before
can-
where he led the team in tackles, which we all agreed
You
was
can
not
put
a
Minka
good.
anywhere. Yeah. No, when your safety's leading the team in tackles, there's something drastically wrong there.
Right. Exactly. So
I just don't like it that
see that last year. You saw that kind of that dynamic change a little bit, whereas he wasn't so reliant. They did a better job stopping the run, and so he was more suited to play that safety position better, in a more realistic role, as opposed to run support as much as he did.
I just don't like the fact that when TJ Watt is out, we can't win. I don't understand that. When TJ Watt, I know he's a highly dominant player, but when he's out, there is no hope to win. The defense just falls apart.
It's not the defense; it's
someone
the
explain
offense.
that?
They can prepare. The offense for the other team can prepare differently. They don't have to worrying about double teaming TJ Watt every play. They can focus on single lining up people, and it makes it a little bit easier to plan that way.
Then shouldn't the
That's
defensive
my thoughts. I
coordinator
don't know
plan
about
for
you
that?
guys, but-
Well,
should,
I know Butler's
but
good, but-
obviously we see the record and they not. I mean, if we played the Bears a million times, we'd be what, maybe 2-30. We can't beat the Bears with. Let's rephrase this.
With rookie quarterbacks. But let's be honest, though, Nick. I mean, you know, when you take an NFL Defensive Player of the Year out of your lineup, you're obviously going to feel that pain.
I get it, but it can't be one guy just come out and then the other offense goes, "Oh, look what we can do now," and you don't prepare for that. That's like when Jordan left. The Bulls still made the playoffs. They weren't as good, but they still made the playoffs. They didn't just fall apart and give up 200 points a game. So you have to facilitate. That's why you are a professional coach, and then prepare for that.
Well, you hit it on the head there, Nick. The Bulls still had Scottie Pippen. Who was our Scottie Pippen last year? Minka? Because you look at
Minka,
Alex Highsmith.
Hayward, Highsmith.
Okay, but now Highsmith's getting double teamed. We didn't
Again,
have
what,
anybody
4
up the
seconds?
middle.
I don't have that number in front of me, but that's just a guess.
So now you're taking away an element of taking over a game. You know what I mean? Like TJ Watt can take over a game. I'm not seeing Alex Highsmith.
Does that fall on Tomlin, guys? Because he.
No, I don't think that
Alex
falls on
Highsmith
Tomlin
last
at
year
all.
had. I'd say that falls on Butler, wouldn't it?
Well, no.
Last year,
Butler
Highsmith had
wasn't-
14 and a half sacks.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Heisman stepped up his game last year while TJ was out, and Butler hasn't been the defense coordinator for the last 2 years. So you got to remember, we had a new defense coordinator last year, and we really did not have a bona fide third outside linebacker on this team. We thought when we went after Melvin that we solidified that.
Yeah, and then he didn't want to be here anymore.
Didn't want to be here anymore. So, I mean, I think this year you've got somebody in Hertbig that is really going to impress us as the season goes along. The kid's already getting praises out of training camp. Some of his pass rush repertoire is very reminiscent of TJ, which, of course, TJ's training him. So now if Alex can go ahead and remain in double digits, TJ stays healthy and remains in double digits, and you pick up even 9 sacks from Hertbig, I say the outside linebackers have just been rectified as far as that being a weakness on this team.
Yeah, they have to stay healthy, though, right? I mean, that's the key.
Yeah, there's a key. There's the key.
I mean,
By
that's
the way,
key
to
for every
add to
kid, but,
that, without TJ Watt in the lineup, Highsmith recorded 4 sacks in 7 games that he missed.
Mm. And then who was the
let's face it,
linebacker
guys.
that left for Arizona? Big white guy in the middle.
White guy who
Spillane?
left for
Yeah, Spillane.
Spillane.
Robert Spillane.
Spillane. Sorry.
Spillane. Yeah, we did
but
lose.
Yeah.
Spillane was-
Yeah.
Yeah, but Spillane was definitely he was a throwback player. I mean, he could only cover if he was in a telephone booth. You opened up that door, man, it was Free Willy out there against Spillane.
Yeah,
But
pass
if you
coverage
needed-
was not his forte.
No,
Although
but if
that's
you
what they
needed
brought him
that
in as,
stop-
thinking that he was better. He was a decent pass cover backer. But
Yeah, so I think that when you look at what Omar Khan
And that's
has
why they're
done-
like putting Kendrick Green at fullback because they see he's a better smasher than he is a blocker.
yeah, he's definitely not what we thought he would be coming out of college.
And why the hell we still hold on to Mason
Is the
Rudolph?
rookie left tackle gonna?
Well, think about
still
it.
have
For
him.
a for a third string quarterback who knows the system, why not? It's not like we got to expect him to hit. If he hits the field, we've got bigger problems than Mason Rudolph hitting the field at this point in time.
what's that saying? Stick with the devil, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing that he's most famous for is getting a helmet over his head.
Getting his head smashed in.
I mean, in all honesty, too,
Wonder
Nick.
if
I mean,
Evan's
think
still
about it this
watching.
way: if somebody would pay me $1 million to hold a clipboard and sit on the sideline, by God, I'm right there, tentative. I have 3 Gatorade bottles in my pocket, ready to hand out when they come in the field. I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, it's
I'm
got to
showing
be
up
the
early.
easiest
I'm
job in
going
the
to work
NFL.
early.
Absolutely. I'm loving life. And while I'm watching everybody hit the trainer's room, I'm whistling Dixie through the hallways. Hey, I feel pretty goddamn good this morning, boys. How you all feeling?
Me and
Son
the
of a
clipboard,
bitch.
I'm ready to go.
Right. Did you see that paycheck that just hit my
How do you
bank
not?
account for Sunday? Woohoo! I mean, he's no different than what Josh was when you think about it. Nobody had a problem with Josh, and Josh couldn't throw the ball. He could throw. He understood what was going on, but he had absolutely zero accuracy, could not read 1, 2, and 3 wide receiver, and had problems even handing the ball off. He was better to keep it and just do Wildcat all day long. But nobody had a problem with Josh. Why? Because he had a Nassau degree? He was a rocket science? Ooh, that just made us feel smarter.
You're only as smart as the plays that are called down
Doesn't make
from
us look smart.
Canada's little office up on the skylight up there.
I mean, let me ask you this, Nick. Would you be okay if we went ahead and got a hold of Duck Dynasty and see if they would go ahead and release Duck Rogers to come back and play for us instead of Mason?
No, I'd much rather have Mason.
So there you have it. Me personally, I'd rather have Duck Dodgers back in the lineup because at least I like that kid. He played with spunk. He was reckless as all get out, but man, he brought in some energy when he hit the field. Mason, on the other hand, looks like we're getting ready to watch another season of The Walking Dead. Here we go.
Oh, come on. He tries.
I never got. I don't know. I would have never brought Mason back. I don't care if he's holding the clipboard or not. I don't care if he knows the system or not. He's not very good.
Well, I don't think anybody was knocking down his door.
Go ahead, JT. You look like you're ready to call me out.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think there was a whole lot of teams knocking at this door to take him away from the Steelers. I think had there been a decent offer, that you might have seen him cuffed again.
Hey, come on, Tanner Morgan.
I mean,
he's got to be able to take a snap first. We're treating this kid just like we did Chris Ogle-Duncan last year.
Yeah. Anyway. So what's going on with Najee Harris? Is he going to be the running back we all expect him to be, or is Jaylen Warren going to be the starter by week 5?
Not a chance. Not a chance. Najee Harris is our bell cow, 100%. Yeah. Do I think that it's nice to have that Thunder and Lightning package? Absolutely. I think that worked well when we had Jerome and Willie Parker. Now, both of them can bring the thunder, obviously. But, I mean, Najee's your do-it-all back. But Jaylen Warren is a nice guy to bring in the spell because he runs like a bowling ball. And on top of that, we saw him make some big catches out of the backfield last year, which is great to have, especially for a third down back.
Yeah, it's a nice combo. It's definitely
I was just curious. I remember the beginning of the season. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
Yeah, I think.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think that's a big question, and a good question is he going to be that guy? I mean, locally here, Mark Madden was calling him a potential bust, but I don't see that at all.
I think good numbers last year with that offensive line.
It's still, yeah, with that. So, and I think the whole concept with the, going with the offensive lineman first, again, he's bolstering that run, that run offense, and knows that has to be part of the game. Get back to Steeler football. I think he's going to be a big part of it. I think he's going to have a big year, personally. What do you guys think?
I mean, let's face it. He had 1,000 yards last year rushing with a Swiss cheese offensive line.
Yeah.
There are more holes in that offensive line than the Swiss cheese. I mean, half of it he made on his own. what was it? By mid-season, he had like 856 yards, and they figured it out that like 752 of them were on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah, the number of times that he was hitting negative yards in the backfield before making positive yardage.
I mean, so when you look at this kid's character, I love this kid's character. The bigger question right now should be, does Anthony McFarland Jr. step up this year and be that fourth back to see just exactly where this speed demon is that we heard so much about coming out of Maryland?
Booger Jr.
Booger Jr. I mean, what's the over and under on fantasy points on him, Nick?
A little bit more than what you and I could get combined.
All right.
Not much. He may get more snaps than yards. But right now,
Have you already
according to
broken that,
ESPN,
Nick? Have you gone that far into it?
yeah, we did. They did the Steelers when I was on vacation, so I was not on the episode. But yeah, right now he's listed as their third down back. I mean, as their third string back. And then Jalen Warren's getting a lot of chatter as a late round pick. So his over under is 84 points on the season.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. McFarland Booger Jr. only played in one game last year.
Yeah,
One
what are you gonna do with
game.
that? What are you gonna do with that?
Which he did play actually not that bad, if you remember. He had some big bursted plays.
He had a good
he
game.
He had 6 carries for 30 yards.
Okay. I'm just saying
That's
for
decent.
him,
5 a pop.
for him out of the production that we had been getting from him wasn't
5
bad.
yards
I
per
mean,
carry.
there was one that he broke out for what, 15, 20 yards on that one, and you saw his speed.
Hey, look, I love the way you tell stories, Freight Train, because it's like going fishing. That sumbitch was that goddamn big by the time it's all over and done with. The guy had a 14-yard run. We're ready to go ahead and put him right there next to the bus's bus.
No, I wasn't saying all that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, look, you're like,
When he
you're
did
ready
have an
to give him a
opportunity, he didn't play
participation
bad.
award. You're giving him a participation. Look, him and
Compared to what
Rudolph
we
are
were
going to be
getting out
over
of
there
NTA, yes.
holding the clipboard and saying, I got the participation award. James, come give me a kiss and a hug after the game.
I'm just saying. What we had been getting from him, it wasn't that bad when he was filling in. It really wasn't. And you'll admit it.
Hey, the running backs will do as much as the offensive line will allow them to do. It doesn't matter who's back there. If you're in the league, you got talent. And if you're back there and the offensive line ain't blocking for you, they're not plugging the holes, they're not picking their gaps, then what are you going to do? So it all rides on the offensive line.
And here's another thing. Let me throw this out there because we haven't really talked about this on the show. What do you guys feel about this zone blocking offense we've gone to? I feel we need to get back to pulling and trapping.
Mm-hmm.
That's who we are. But yet
Well,
we
we're
run
so
a zone
used to it.
blocking offense. Well, we haven't seen that in quite some years.
Well, the thing is, with a zone blocking scheme, you want to have big bodies, don't you?
Yeah, do we have the
We don't-
offensive
we
line
don't-
to
we
do the
don't
job?
have that. We don't have
We
that.
haven't in the last years. Now we do this year with Sudamulu Malo and go ahead and throw in old big Jack James Daniels. You know, the question will be is Chooks.
Kevin Dotson. Might as well throw him in
Kevin
there.
Dotson was definitely a road grader, but he definitely fell off last year.
Think about high school football. What kind of offense do you run when you have undersized offensive linemen? You run the veer because it works. Because you can put 2 and 3 bodies on one guy. It works. So you run with what works best.
Right.
And apparently they felt that the veer, I mean not the veer, the zone run fits our offensive line play the best?
I think what fits our offensive line play the best is getting us a damn offensive line coach. We ain't had one since Munchak left the building. That's been the biggest problem. We really want to get into this. Once Munchak left the building, that offensive line went drastically downhill and has not recovered. And we've had 4 coaches since then.
Like, everyone talks about how great Tomlin is, but you guys feel like he's losing interest in wanting to coach here because we're okay with making 500 football okay and not wanting to ruin? Do you think other coaches are that going, why would I want to go there?
Adam, if that was the case, he would be mum's the word. But he's got a new Tomlinism every single day. That guy is fired up. Let alone, I don't know why anybody would wear a black T-shirt, long sleeves, in 100-degree weather, except he loves the sport and he wants his players to know he's out there sweating just as much as they are. So, I mean, do I think he's lost the love of the game? Absolutely not. Do I think he's adapted to the game today and we've got to coddle everybody? Probably. Look, bring me back Chuck Noll. Chuck Noll would have had them out there on the run test with their damn full pads on. But look, the CBAs have won it. CDB. Sorry, this is not a marijuana show, folks. For all of you that are listening, please stay away from your smoke shops. But anyways, my point being is
CBD.
You don't have that right now. I mean, we coddle these guys.
That wasn't Adam's question, TA, after your long, extravagant rant. What Adam was referring to was if coaches wanted to come here and coach with Mike Tomlin. And that's the question that needs to be answered is, does Mike Tomlin actually give his coaches free reign to do what their job is? Or is it Mike Tomlin's, is it his say, or is it the end all be all is where he's trying to get at, TA?
Well, if that's the case, then I think that record speaks highly for itself because there is no coaching tree off of the Mike Tomlin tree. I mean, he's worse than, no offense, Adam. There's a lot of trees down there in Weirton, West Virginia that just don't have a spike coming off the side. Straight up and down branch.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
It seems like a lot of people want to go to Kyle Shanahan, though, because he is producing head coaches and not side coaches. D'Amico Ryan, Matt LaFleur, Chala up there in New York. Cal coaches. And he's winning football. I feel people are more.
Yeah, I think I just think thing, and they all came from that Bill Walsh tree. When you look at Bill Walsh,
my question is, do coaches still want to come here, even though Tomlin says we're supposed to be okay at 500 football?
They're going to come here, but they're not going to have any pedigree. They're not going to have any pedigree because they know how it is. It's Mike Tomlin's football team. He has the final say in everything. Mike Tomlin doesn't just focus on defense or offense or special teams. He focuses on everything, and his word is the end-all, be-all. You can see it, and that's just like TA said. He has no coaching tree because he won't let his coaches coach. And whether it's just because he sees after he makes the hire that they just don't have what it takes and he has to ride it out and kind of coddle them along, who knows? But it's just that's it. He doesn't let his coaches coach. And there he went.
No,
he got his answer. He got his question answered.
Yeah.
Nick, what do you think about that? You're a Tomlin guy.
Yes, I am. Mike Munchak went off and he became a head coach. But no, when you were talking about it, and I was thinking, and I really couldn't remember Tomlin developing a coaching tree like your Walshes, your Holmgrens, your Andy Reeds. I don't know what the dynamic is with Tomlin and his coaching staff, so I can't speak to that. But then again, you had lifers there, like Dick LeBeau, who stayed there his entire career. It's like either they can't leave or they don't want to leave. Maybe that's the reason why Tomlin rather does not have a large coaching tree. I can't speak to that.
Well,
Sorry, guys.
definitely do love-
Did you guys try to answer my question? Obviously, I got kicked out of my own room again. I feel like I'm just living at home right now, getting
we're
kicked
still
out of my
on it.
house.
We're still on it.
Yeah, we're still debating.
Okay. What did we do? I'm sorry. What did I miss any big answers? And then we'll just get back to where we were.
No, just that he does not have a tree. But the one thing that I will say that Tomlin has done over the years is he has brought in a lot of ex-coaches over the years. And I think last year he put a lot of faith in Brian Flores. And I think if Brian wouldn't have, got another job, we might have seen Brian Flores on the sideline one more time for Jerry O's position. But that's not where Flores wants to be at this time. He did not want to take a step back.
I think Minnesota guys were very excited. I had them on last week. They were very excited to have Brian Flores as their defense coordinator. Their only concern is if he has a really good year, he's going to be gone too, because he will be one of the coaches talked about again. They fear that.
Oh, absolutely.
Just be my thoughts on what they said.
But I will say this, when you look at Tomlin's staff now, it is a bunch of younger guys. I mean, of course, we still got good old Bazooka Joe, been with the team now for 11 seasons. But Bazooka Joe has, and let's face it, I don't think Bazooka Joe has done anything special as a special teams coordinator, but he's held on to his job. Now, you look at Carl Dunbar, 16 years. Now, there's a guy right there who has definitely put together some formidable defensive lines. Now, granted, he's had some players to go along the way, but he's definitely been there. But then when you look at the rest of it, it's all brand new young faces, man. Brand new young faces. Now, some of them come with experience. Some of them have none. So it'll be interesting to see, is this Tomlin's way now by bringing these young guys in to go ahead and give them a little bit more say? And do we start seeing a Grady Brown or an Aaron Curry or even a Pat Meyer become an offensive coach candidate or an assistant coach candidate or a head coach candidate in the years to come?
Jury's still out. We don't know.
Or does Tomlin bring them in to keep the reins where he can get them because they're new coaches and he can just say, I don't feel comfortable letting them go?
I think we could debate that forever and a day and really not have the true answer. But the facts remain, he does not have a tree that the other good coaches in the NFL have produced over the years. But you know what? The same could be said about Bill Cowher.
Funny thing is, a lot of Cleveland.
What's that?
Like Belichick came from Cleveland. Cowher was in Cleveland for a little bit. Maybe Cleveland just doesn't know how to hire coaches.
Well, they got a front office problem and an ownership problem.
Yeah.
Their problems go deeper than we ever know about.
All right, so let me throw a question out to this group.
Man.
How do you think we stack up against the rest of the AFC North? Let's start on offense. How do you think we rank against the other teams in AFC North?
How do we rank?
Or where do we stand? Like, what are your thoughts?
I know I broke down games and teams. I had us going 12-5. I really
Wow.
did. I'm living in the world though. I had us losing to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh, you haven't done your review yet? Look, I just turned this into your guys' show. Son of a bitch.
Well, that's the question, though. I mean, how do you think we're gonna fare against the rest of the AFC North? Freight Train, you were about to chime
I mean,
in,
I
too.
think offensively, when you break down our offensive talent, I think we're just as good as anybody in the division outside of Cincinnati. I mean, who's going to compete with what they have? I mean, you have one of the best quarterbacks in the game right now, 2 top-notch receivers. T. Higgins doesn't get enough credit for being the good wide receiver that he is. You know, they've kind of patched up their offensive line somewhat. So that's pretty much the cream of the crop when it comes to the AFC North on offense. Then you look at Baltimore. Baltimore's kind of a predictable team. I mean, we played them extremely well. I mean, Lamar Jackson to the point he doesn't even want to play us. Every time we play them, he doesn't even play. So, and they just added OBJ. They don't know what they're getting out of him. J.K. Dobbins is a pretty good running back for them. It's just if they can stay healthy because they're a little bit older on the offensive side of the ball. And then Cleveland, they just don't give Nick Chubb the ball enough. So I think when you break it down, as long as our play calling
Like Zay Flowers.
is up to par, as long as our play calling is up to par, I think we're just as good as the other 3 teams outside of Cincinnati, if not better.
That's the thing. Play calling. That's what's going to be.
When you break it down, I mean, Najee Harris, I mean, he's probably outside Nick Chubb, the best running back in the division. Then you look at, wide receivers, George Pickens. I mean, who knows? He can end up being the best receiver out of it. I think Freiermuth is the best tight end in the division. I mean, Mark Andrews is pretty good in Baltimore, but, he's getting some injury problems here and there. And then, you just look it down. I mean, I think we have one of the best offenses in the division if we can get some good play calling and involve them all.
Nick,
CTA
what's your thoughts?
just-
Bro, get down, bro. Freight Train.
Get that fly out of there.
I know, just that thing is bugging the hell out of me. It's
I thought it was on
landing
my
my
screen.
head.
Nick, what's your thoughts?
I'd say third because it's gonna come down to Canada calling the plays and then Pickett delivering. So again, I am not sold on Kenny Pickett. So I think he might be the drive staller. He might throw a pick here and there when it counts the most. They might say, well, we don't have confidence in Pickett right now. We're just going to run it. So, there is a lot that can be said, but as far as talent for talent, I think we're third right now. And of course, the enigma is going to be Cleveland. Is Watson going to return back to form? Is Cooper going to be healthy? So it's going to be tough sledding on offense this year until they figure it out.
All right, Adam, what's your thought process?
I agree with a lot of you guys on this. It comes back to, is Canada going to get to open this thing up? Is Kenny Pickett going to blow off Canada? I can throw this fucking ball, and that's what we're going to do. I think he needs to throw more down the middle of the field. Not just always to the outside where that ball is going to go incomplete. He's got to take shots. He's got to take those. He's got to take those risks. Like maybe like you mentioned earlier, lining Deontay Johnson up in the slot and letting those other guys hit the heavier reach guys. And if not, if they're going to line the cornerbacks 1 and 2 on Deontay Johnson in the slot, then that opens up to Kenny Pickett to throw it to the outside where they want it to be. But I think Kenny Pickett's got to take shots down the middle, and that's the way we're going to be successful. Do I think – I mean, obviously you have to figure out a way to stop Chase and Burrow. I mean, that's just a dangerous duo. But I think we could be number 2. I really do. But I also think we can go 12-5 in this division too. It's just me.
Well, first of all, as far as the defenses goes, because we're all talking offense, defensive wise, I think we have the best defense out there. Baltimore is going to come in there number 2, as they always do. And Cincinnati's 3rd, Browns will be, a 4th. Cincinnati lost way too many defensive playmakers over the course of last year. So they're not going to be the same defense, and that helped them tremendously. Now, you brought up a good point, Adam. We kind of forget that Burrow has had 3 good wide receivers to go to in Higgins and
Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd, thank you. Tyler Boyd. And of course, the guy who's made him look.
They got that rookie. They got that rookie they're really high on too. John something. I don't know his last name, but they got a rookie they're really high on, possibly filling in Boyd's role.
Well, and I think that's going to come down to, again, Joe with Jamar. Now, if Kenny Pickett can go ahead and get that ball out to Pickens, I think that you're going to see that combo, and all of a sudden we're going to be singing a different tune with Kenny Pickett. Because let's face it, it is the wide receiver that makes the quarterback, but the quarterback's got to get him the ball. I mean, that can be time and time again. Was Joe Montana and Steve Young that great, or did Jerry Rice just make it look that easy? When you sit and look at the big picture, because when Joe went off to Kansas City, Joe didn't look that great. When Steve lost, Jerry Rice, Steve didn't look that great.
He was also older too and trying to learn a new offense in that Kansas City role.
Yeah, and I'm not going to take any of that away from him. But even
I'm not going to stick up for Joe Montana, but he is a real good quarterback.
And everybody can say that. My point being is
and maybe that's why.
But even the GOAT, when he went to Tampa, they lined him up with some studs for wide receivers. So it's Pickett feeling comfortable with his wide receivers. So do I think that this offense can go ahead and do something? Absolutely. We've got more weapons. The problem is how are we going to feed the ball to all these weapons? And most importantly, when we do feed them, the thing we've got to correct, which we've heard it time and time again, is the yards after a catch. And to expand upon what you said, Freight Train, about Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson, just last year alone, 799 times from the outside, 231 from the slot. He is not that goddamn strong in the slot. I don't know what games you're watching, but he is not.
That's how he started.
No, he is
what
not
are you
that
smoking
strong
over there?
He is not that. When you look statistically,
why do you think every time he gets the ball, he goes into the middle of the field, TA? That's where he's most comfortable working.
When you look at him statistically,
we must not be watching the same football games.
Yeah, he is not a slot receiver. Not a slot receiver. He is on the outside. So to me right now, I think we're a very close second and have a good goddamn chance of winning this division. And I can't wait to have you all back on here at the end of the day to say, damn, TA, you knew something more than we did.
Must have been because they left Deontay Johnson on the outside.
Hey, I'm just telling you, stats don't lie, brother.
So who do you want playing the slot, TA? Robinson?
I think Robinson has what we haven't had a slot, unlike what Freight Train said. We like big, tall, wide receivers. No, last time I checked, Antonio Brown was only 5'10", Hines Ward was only 5'10", Deontay's only 5'10". Oh yeah, we like those shifty guys on the outside. We like our bigger guys in the middle. Bryant. Yeah, but that was on the outside.
Sammy Coates.
I don't know.
Looked like we were getting. Wasn't John Stallworth a tall receiver? TA. Wasn't Stallworth tall?
But wasn't Lynn Swann also 5'10"? He was 5'10".
What about John Stallworth?
John Stallworth was 6'2".
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty tall, isn't it?
Well,
are you
an outside receiver? What I'm saying
is the average person 6'2"?
For what I'm saying is on our outside receivers, just like Pickett right now, you've got that one tall guy. The same thing we tried to do with Plexico, who didn't pan out. Sammy Coates didn't pan out. Martavius Bryant didn't pan out.
Limas Swede, baby.
There's my man.
I mean,
My
I
man.
can go on and on down the list, but what we
It wasn't
did
because
have,
of their
what
football
we
ability.
did have on that slot guy was Hines Ward, who would come from the outside, jump into the slot, and make that crucial third down for us. That's what we haven't had in a while, is the guy to make that crucial third down.
Isn't that still using him as a slot though?
Well, they expected Deontay to be it, but he can't catch a damn fucking ball.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you. If you want a damn guy to be your go-to on third down, catch the damn rock. You might as well put Ike Taylor out there in the slot because he's big.
Like I said earlier, he doesn't have all them drops. He's got over 1,000 yards instead of barely tying or being ahead of George Pickens, who caught 35 less passes than him last year.
Right.
I don't know if you have that number in front of you, TA, but I mean, it just wasn't. And I know everyone just looks at those touchdowns, but look at all the balls you fucking dropped.
Well, and the biggest thing is, too, for Deontay Johnson, it was 2.7 yards after the catch. That's the thing that really hurt us last year. But again, we can sit here and throw this up and argue. We had 3rd and 8, and we're going to throw it 3rd and 4. And you're only averaging 2.7 yards after a catch? It doesn't take a rocket science to figure out. And maybe Josh got his numbers on the sideline on that clipboard wrong, and he had some pie math going on that said we could make that. You need the yards after the catch.
You always
That's
want
what
to think
this
you're
team needs.
going to make it, though.
But if you're going to make it, at least throw it at the yardstick.
So, JT, what are your thoughts on the season?
Well, I'm kind of in Nick's corner here on this one. I think it all boils down to how Canada delivers this offense, how he manages Kenny in it, and how they utilize the team, the offense in general. So, yeah, I think it boils down to those two Kenny Pickett and how Canada manages the offense.
But TA is right on everything he said. I mean, if you're third and 8, you can't throw it 3rd and
5
4,
yards. Right,
and then expect the guy to jiggle and dance who gets 2.7 yards per carry. I mean, per yak. That's just not going to happen. There are no more Antoine Randall L's on this team or Hines Wards. So you got to get the guys in position to be successful.
Yeah. I remember specifically one time last year that he was close to a first down and ended up like running backwards and lost yards on it. I don't know. They just never seemed to click. Like you said too.
They do that
3rd
weird
and 8.
fake backwards,
and-
thinking they're going to go forward.
Yeah. It's just that weird 3rd and 8, and you're throwing it 3-4 yards down the field. That's not going to work. You've got to open the offense up a little bit and let your players play, man.
Like,
Give them room to
that's
fail,
the way I feel.
but give them room.
All right, so
JT,
so
are
we
we
want the
1, 2,
playbook.
3, or 4?
Actually,
Where
we
we
just
at,
want
JT? You didn't
Tomlin to
tell us.
release the hounds because that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much.
What's that, TA?
JT didn't say where he thought we ranked 1, 2, 3,
We're
or 4.
tired of not playing past the first week of January.
Yeah. In the division, where do we rank?
Back to that contract discussion. What's that?
Wait for Adam to catch up here.
Jay, we were saying something.
I don't know. I think we lost our train there.
No, I'm still
Freight
here.
train?
I'm still here.
Yeah, that's it,
Am I
man. In a
frozen
nutshell.
again?
Release
No,
the
you're
hounds.
good.
Release the hounds.
No, but someone was saying something, and I cut him off. Like, I didn't mean to.
TA was asking me like where he thought we'd rank in the AFC North, and I like number 2 position.
Oh, good.
Like number 2. I think we'll handle the Browns, and I think we'll handle Baltimore. I think we'll probably split. I think we'll split. I think we'll win one against Cincinnati. So I think we'll do fairly well in the division, and I think we'll make the playoffs by at least a wild card. I don't know. I wouldn't call us division leaders yet, but I would go as far as that. I think a 10-6 record isn't too much of a reach.
10-7.
Or 10-7, yeah.
Way to keep him honest, Nick. I got to do it all the time.
Hey, I'm still calling San Diego Chargers half the time. So, you know.
Well, here's the question for me, for you guys. How many games do you guys go to a year, or do you try to meet up and go to a game a year, or what do you guys do?
JT, are you speaking for us
Or don't we?
Go ahead. I try to go to a game a year. We try to get down to training camp or Friday Night Lights at least once. I mean, last year we as a group, we all met up down in Latrobe Friday to see Friday Night Lights, and these guys stayed over. We were going to go to the training camp the next day. Both rained out. So this year we missed it. I don't have anything scheduled yet. I believe Freight Train does, though.
Yeah, I'm going to the second preseason game against Buffalo. So I got end zone seats, great seats. Hopefully some of the starters should play since there's only 3, and that's preseason game number 2. So, yeah, I might be able to see something. But back to what JT said last year for training camp, me and TA did make lemonade out of lemons at Sharky's. If you've ever been there and ever been to Latrobe, boy, did we have a night with some Steelers, Bob Labriola. Did I say that right, TA?
You said it right.
Okay.
I think you're missing a few syllables there.
Labiola.
Yeah. Bob let me put his Super Bowl ring on, and I had way too many beverages, and I put it on upside down. And there's a picture on our website of it. It was a good time, though.
Nice.
And that's for me. I try to.
So
make
you
it
guys
a
hang out with like the
year.
beat writers and stuff, or do you just run into them and know who they are at the bars? I've never been to a training camp, so I don't know anything about it.
Last year, I think we just ran into him, and as we were sitting there, it was like, there's Bob, there's Papiani, we just went down the list. And then Freight Train actually went in and did hold a Steelers pecker while he peed last year.
Oh, stop. Hey, talk about fishtails. That story
No
just
kid,
keeps
TA.
taking on new legs every time he tells it.
What he meant to say was
New
I was
length,
waiting.
so that's a double pun.
What he meant to say was I was waiting in line with Marcus Allen's dad, and we were having a discussion. That's as far as it got. And we went into the bathroom at separate times.
There's no holding of anything.
There was
And
no
that's the
holding of
story.
anything.
Sticking to it.
That's right. Yeah. I had
Can't
nothing to
vouch for
do.
him,
I
wasn't
had
there.
nothing to do with him not being on the team anymore.
What about you, Adam?
Alrighty then.
Adam, you get to go to games?
As of right now, I do not have any planned right now. Me and my buddy tried to go. Did have tickets for the Oakland game last year, and he ended up getting sick, and
Oh, man.
he was supposed to drive. So I was like, I ate the tickets. I didn't even use them.
Oh, man.
I got them like that morning. I bought them, and we just didn't go. It was Christmas Eve. He's like, I don't want to be sick from all my family, and if it wasn't like -30, we went. This year, I am going to try and go to at least one game, and I might go to Cleveland. I'm going to go up there too. But other than that, I have no plans. But with the paying for on PayPal and now how they let you all do that, it makes wanting to go to a game a little bit easier. Like, oh, $50 here, $50 2 weeks, $50 2 weeks, makes it a little bit easier. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but Affirm does like Ticketmaster now. So you don't have to pay $300 right up front. You can spread it out.
Well,
Do you go any games down there? Do you drive down to Lauderdale or over to Jacksonville?
No, I wanted to go
Tampa,
when.
I guess.
I want to go, but it just never had panned out. So, no, I have yet to be to a Steeler game. It would have been fun. Ben was my guy, so that's not a popular statement, but Ben was my guy. So I've always wanted to see Ben play. Haven't seen him play, so I guess I'm out on that one.
I used to work down there, so I got free games every Sunday that they were home.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
That was nice.
You were event staff.
So I got to see Ben play a lot. I worked there when it first opened. What was that, 2001? So what do you guys think about this conversation going around town? Are they going to move the Cranberry? Did you hear about this, JT?
No, it did not.
Well, you know how like every
Steelers
30
turn off?
years this town loves the new stadium. And
Ah,
they're
new
talking
stadium?
about getting up the Cranberry.
I don't know.
Well, every 30 years, these stadiums aren't built for over 30 years in a day, it appears.
Have you guys
I
heard
didn't know if
anything?
you heard anything about that.
No, I had not. Too much training camp fodder right now, probably. It kind of story got brushed under the rug.
Maybe.
I don't know, man. That's a tough sell, Adam, I think.
I had season like what, going to Cranberry, being up by the little movie
Yeah, I
complex.
think that's a tough sell with all the development of the North Shore there and stuff. And it's pretty nice facilities and surrounding properties there. Lots to do in the area, plenty of parking. The casino's right there, Carnegie Science Museum right there. That whole Renaissance on that side of the river. I don't know. The PNC Park right next door to it.
It's really
I don't
grown
know.
up over the last 10 years.
Yeah, that might be a tough sell for Pittsburgh Steelers fans and Pittsburghers in general. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
didn't know if you guys heard about it, what you thought about it.
No.
I
I don't know what the
it wouldn't be for another
Acrisure
5-6
naming
years, 'cause
rights
that's-
are for a
No.
while yet.
I think a lot of that came into play when that story broke was due to Moorhead coming in and maybe some of his thoughts on what he had done in hockey, what he could potentially do for the Steelers. So I think at this present time and moment, it's just one of those deals that is just, it's out there. It might even be a bargaining chip at this point in time. Just to say, look, Pittsburgh, we need more money. Because at the end of the day, they've spent too much money renovating the North Shore, as you guys have already said. They've got both stadiums right there side by side, sharing the parking. You've got the Pitt Panthers right there as well. I mean, it makes no sense to go to Cranberry. Zero, zilch.
Well, not to mention the museum, the Steelers museum that they just put in.
And then you even have the Riverhounds who are on fire right now across the river.
Right. So at the end of the day,
I don't know if you guys pay attention to the Riverhounds, but they're
always huge on Sunday.
What was that?
It's huge on Sunday.
Well, I did see Adam. Did see a story out there back from
Yes.
in May about the Steelers ready for a stadium change. That they, on top of having a new name, that kind of reading through this down here, but with the name change, I don't know. Like I have to agree with TA though. I just think that just may be politics to vie for some more
Bargaining
money.
chip.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I do got to ask this question. Has everybody been seeing any of the photos and stuff coming out of training camp where it seems the popular thing to do is to pass your young infant over the ropes to TJ to have him sign their t-shirt? Like he is part of the babysitting crew? Have you guys noticed that? It's happened at least twice. He's been handed a baby to sign their shirt.
I know in Chicago, Justin Fields actually signed a baby's jersey. They put him over the fence, and he signed the jersey on the kid. I don't know. People are strange.
I will say the Steelers were quite generous with their time down Friday night at Latrobe Stadium. They all, once they got on the field and kind of got set, they released them and they all went to the fans and went almost the whole way around the stadium signing autographs and stuff. It was really nice.
Hell, even the con man's been getting into the act of signing
That's-
autographs. That's right, Adam. You froze up again. We'll finish that sentence for you. He's gone.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, I do have to sign off, but it's been a pleasure. Nice meeting you. If you guys ever
Absolutely.
want me to come on your show, beat me up some more. It's been great. Come on. I'll be happy to come on. No, you guys were nothing compared to what I'm used to. So, yeah, please. All right, gentlemen.
All right, man. Hey, we'd love to have you on sometime.
All right, cool. Hit me up on my Twitter.
All right, we'll do.
All right. Thank you.
See you, Nick.
Thanks, Nick. All right, and looks like Adam is attempting to come back on. He's going to be surprised. We've lost a guest.
All right. Welcome to the Steelers Realm podcast.
No, you know what it is, guys. We're streaming to multiple sources here from multiple PCs and stuff. So,
And you're
no
frozen. You haven't moved. Oh, now you're moving. Oh.
I got booted out. Nick got booted out. I don't know what's going on with Chicken Yard here tonight. Maybe they're paying attention. They're like calling us Chicken Yard. We're just going to boot your ass out.
we'll show you.
Well, actually,
Right?
Actually, Nick said goodbye. He had to go.
Oh. I like
Mickey
Nick.
Mickey Mouse was calling his name, and it was time to get the PJs on and go to bed.
It is Sunday night. Oh. Yeah, I had a long night too. I went to Stand in Godsmack last night out at the pavilion. And
So that was last night. I was wondering how, you said you were going to that. I was wondering if that was something that you were going after here or went to earlier. Or
No, I went there last night. That's why I was trying to figure it out because I figured I might be hungover all day today and didn't feel like doing shit.
Smart move.
So then I was like, all right, if I get up to pee and it's close to 5 o'clock, I'm going to stay up and watch the girls' game. And it was 4:30 when I got up, and I'm like, oh man. So I watched the whole women's game this morning, and that was a mess. Once they put in Megan Rapone, she should have retired last World Cup. She's awful. They put her in, and it just totally ruined the whole game. It's like taking out Deontay Johnson and putting in Anthony Miller. So, yeah. She missed it. All right, so O'Hara missed it too. O'Hara missed a wide open net too. And Were any events up for that this morning? Do any even give a shit about the World Cup?
I don't watch it. I'm not a soccer
Nah, I don't
guy,
watch it.
to be
Don't
honest
watch
with
it
you.
much.
TA is. You
So-
can fill him in.
So we were in the penalty kick zone. It went all the way to penalty kicks. Our goalie blocked the kick. So all we had to do was score once. And then Rapone put it up over the net, and then O'Hare hit the post on an open net, wide open, both shots. And then Sweden scored and took the lead. And we lost. And now the girls are coming home. So
Coming
yeah,
home.
that was our World Cup.
That was
And I'm
it.
going to leave Megan Rapone's politics bullshit out of it because there's no need for it.
Oh, no, exactly. I don't think sports
But yeah,
figures. I don't think sports figures should get involved in that. Just
me neither.
you kind of put
Me?
yourself in a position that people have to pick sides. So when you do that, you know what I mean. Now all of a sudden you're kind of picking sides. It's not, you're an athlete representing the United States. So just my thoughts. Just play soccer.
You're an athlete
and be a
representing a
spokesperson.
team.
Yeah, that's right. Be a spokesperson for the
These kids are
sport
going to
and
look up to you one day and go, "Why are you doing that?"
in your country, right?
Right.
We
But
said we
anyway,
don't talk politics, but we do. We still throw
And
it.
there he goes. JT's getting.
we
pulled
mentioned
up.
it. We mentioned it. I went into the World Cup, so I kind of brought it up on my own bad there.
JT,
But
if
I
I
didn't
had
have
the
a chance to
whistle,
vent
I
all
would have
day
blew it
about
on
it,
you.
so I finally got the vent.
There it is.
There it is. You're done.
What's that? Is that your end time?
No, that was just like when it gets out of control, we just blow it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're out. Back when
I thought that was like
back when Duck Hodges was playing, we also had this sound. Just gave you a little quack
for Duck.
for the duck. Yeah.
Man, he ended up with a pretty hot girlfriend right now. She was just in town singing. She's a country singer. I forget her name though.
That's right. He did.
Hmm.
Kenny Pickett
Lorena
just died.
something. But Freight Train, yeah, you should go like that. USFL, it's pretty cool to go. You can take your kids and get all the autographs, and
Yeah. We have it
So that was
because
pretty
we
cool.
live like what did you say, TA? 20 minutes from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So
Yeah,
like,
about
that's
20
where
minutes.
Maulers, the Maulers' home stadium is the Hall of Fame. So
Right.
it was right down the road. I just never made it, unfortunately.
That's
Well,
what
yeah,
happens, Adam,
we
when you have
covered all of it.
27 kids.
Right. I have a village of kids.
It's got to.
You
He's
could
got
have
a
taken them
future
all. It's
NFL team.
friendly. It's friendly, Freight Train. You could have taken them all. You could have had a whole row.
Right. Well, that's what it would have taken.
I think there's 27 seats per row in Canton
The
Stadium.
only thing is, it's hard to find a parking spot for a bus. There's no Walmart parking lot nearby the Hall of Fame.
No, there's not a whole lot of parking up there for like tailgating and all that up there. Have any of you guys been there?
The Hall
Oh,
of
I'm sure
Fame.
you've
absolutely.
been there, right?
Oh,
Freight Train, you've been there
oh,
to see
yeah.
it, right?
Oh yeah, especially now they keep adding more and more to it. I mean, it's like an
They got to
amusement.
build a bear now, so all your kids would love that.
Yeah, my
Your
wallet wouldn't.
wallet would hate you in the morning, but
No, I'd have to get a personal loan from the bank.
oh, have you ever been to Canton, Jay?
No, haven't been out there. Got to hook up with those guys sometime though.
Oh my
We'll have to
gosh.
meet up with them out there.
Like if any more steel, like when Heinz Ward or Ben gets finally in, you should definitely do that day. I got to see Troy get put in, and that was fun.
Yeah, me
I'll
and TA
commit
were
to
there
this.
too.
Yeah, I commit to this right now. If Heinz Ward gets in, I'm going.
What about Ben?
Yeah, sure.
I could finally wear this one. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, There you go.
The Super Bowl jersey.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, that was almost nightmarish.
Wasn't
yes.
he MVP?
Yeah, he was MVP that year.
Mhm.
Well, boys, this has been a fun popping on and popping off show. I'm glad you guys ran the whole thing. I mean, I don't even know if I want to call this my show, but it was fun.
That's all right, man. We appreciate you having us on. No
I
problem.
have not seen my internet do this in a long time. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if there's a storm in the area. I have no idea. But it's never done this bad to me. But like I said the other day, my guys in Baltimore, they had the same connection there, and they actually ended their show 11 minutes into it.
Oh wow!
So I don't know if like StreamYard's getting too big and popular, and all of a sudden all the whatever they call them are just getting overfilled. I have no idea.
Their servers, you mean?
Yeah, the servers. Yes.
Hard to say. Better keep up with it. I mean, they have a good product. Let's face it. I mean, you could put on a nice little show without getting too technical, with some of the tools they built into it. And they seem like they continually upgrading and doing more, adding more features. Of course, a lot of that
right.
stuff
But the more features they get, the more energy it takes. And now all of a sudden, like you possibly get the host like me, who if there's servers being all used, all of a sudden, they're like low end of the totem pole, which I shouldn't be. I pay for the highest one they got. That's not business. Yeah. I don't know which one you guys use.
That depends on the time of the year.
You probably use the $99 a month one.
Yeah.
Get that $1,000 views per show.
Yeah, we need to figure out how to work.
Do you guys get that kind of numbers?
No.
You've been doing it for 5 years. That's why.
Yeah. No.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. We're still waiting to go viral.
Wondering how long it takes.
Well, I don't know. It just seems
is it
like
always
every year.
Is it always you four? Is it always you four? And what nights do the people catch you?
It's usually us, and when we can, and during the week, in the off season, we go every Thursday, and then once the season starts, then we move to a pregame and a postgame in the week. So, like for example, we're playing Friday. We'll have or Sunday. We'll have a Friday pregame, and then a follow up either Monday, or if they have a Monday night game or a late Sunday night game, we may make it Tuesday, depending on how the schedule plays out. But yeah, we usually do pre and post during the season, and then once the season's over, Super Bowl's over, then we'll temper it back to once a week. And my God, there's been enough.
Like Bob Laviola come on your show, or has any of the Poppy Annies or anyone come on your show? Just the bullshit.
We did have Bill Hillgrove on last year, just before training camp, or during training camp, but before Friday Night Lights. And I texted him. I didn't tell you. I texted him last night, wished him a good night, or Friday night rather. And he did respond. He's like, "Thanks, Jim." So I was connecting with. It was a beautiful night down there. So it's good to see.
He seems like a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy, man. He was very generous.
I deliver. Well, we used to deliver to his sister. His sister lives in Imperial somewhere.
Nice.
Won't say where.
But no, let's keep that. I have his cell phone tucked neatly and safely in my.
That's all you need.
That's it. So.
That's nice.
Yeah, man, it's a lot of work, but we just keep plugging away. We enjoy the team and enjoy busting each other's stones about it.
That's all you can do, right?
That's it. We agree to disagree.
I mean, you guys saved my keister tonight because obviously I went off screen 4 times. I don't even know. Like before you know it, it just went back to the login screen of, "Hey, here's your picture." Like, oh, Michael. Come on, you want your cameo? All right, there you go.
There's puppy.
Here's the mascot.
There you go. Good doggy.
We're getting antsy. She knew the show was ending. She's like, "I got to get on camera."
Yep, got to come
she
down.
does this every time. This is Phoenix. This is the cover of the Driving to the Top YouTube dog.
There you go.
All right, down.
Appreciate you having us,
Down.
man. We had some fun tonight, definitely.
Mhm,
I'm glad.
for sure.
I'm glad you guys had fun, even with the massive outage that this is going through.
Hey, shit happens.
TA, thanks for coming on. Freight Train, thanks for coming on. JT,
Absolutely.
thank you for coming on. Thanks for coming on. I had a lot of fun, even though I got frustrated because I got kicked out, obviously.
Mhm.
But maybe you guys come back on later once this all gets resolved.
Yeah.
Anytime,
We'll,
man.
We'll
Go
do it
back on.
again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We'll do it
Anytime.
again. Maybe even
That
we'll
is-
get Evan
Appreciate
on here and
having
we'll
us.
do a little bickering back and forth.
Oh yeah, there definitely.
Well,
We're not opposed to that.
mm-mm.
He's welcome to hop on us. With us
Evan's a
too.
good dude, man. Evan's a good dude.
I'm sure. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with being passionate about your team, right?
Right. I tell him that all the time.
Yeah.
Like he
And
yells
that's
at me
good.
about Tomlin's a great coach. No, he's not. But I'm passionate about it for that reason, and he's passionate. Now I understand why. Like Tomlin's not going to win us another Super Bowl probably, so of course other teams love the guy,
Mm.
Yeah.
and I'm sticking to that line.
Well, we're
Unfortunately.
hoping that changes, but
Yeah.
you
I'm
know.
hoping it changes too. But when you're okay with just being 500, that's not winning. Winning is I need the division, and then we'll go from there. You gotta
There
go
was
back
a
to
lot
that
of talk.
mentality.
There was a lot of talk early last year that this, a lot of talk about moving on from head coaches early last year, but he kind of pulled it around.
Oh yeah, when
He
you go
made
7-2
lemonade
against
out
a
of
bad
lemons,
team.
I guess, so to speak, and managed to pull it together again.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, guys. But yeah, let's reconvene and maybe I'll see if we can get we'll see if we can get into a little AFC North talk.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Anytime, just reach out. We got our contact.
All right, I'm going to see if
info.
my video works this time because it seems to be running a lot smoother right now, does it not?
Yes, definitely.
All right,
Must have
and
been
that's how
Nick.
we'll close it.
We can blame it on Nick.
Always blame it on the guy that
I
left.
do seem to be
Just
doing a
kidding,
lot better. And
Kidding,
He was
bud.
stealing your bandwidth. That's an Eagles fan for you.
that's fine. We're allowed. It's Pennsylvania.
That's it.
I'm just kidding. I got Jalen Hurts and AJ as my receiver. We're not going to get into fantasy football, boys. All right, guys. Well, thank you for coming on. And TA, you got any words of wisdom before we leave? Any jokes?
I'm all tapped out, brother. It was a good show. I'm glad you had us on, man. Looking forward to doing this again. And thank you again for the opportunity to come talk Steelers with you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, guys. Well, thank you. I'm at Sports Talking It. Oh my gosh. YouTube driving to the top. Twitter also driving to the top. The top. They made me put an extra E. And remember, repost now and X. Yeah, did you guys see the retweets now? It's repost.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't use the tweets anymore.
They did change it.
Yeah. As a matter of
All
fact,
right,
I just
guys.
downloaded the
Thank
new
you.
logos. Yeah.